Day 20, the halfway point of your book. If you have not been taking days off, I'm going to recommend you take some days off. If you're doing fine, I'm okay with it. But if you ever start to pull up short, you're feeling tired or fatigued at the keyboard, then take some days off because this is a huge accomplishment. If you want to have a little cupcake or something to celebrate it, please do so, especially if this is your first book, especially if you've made multiple attempts at writing a book and you're now at the halfway point that you've never gotten to before. I am just so incredibly proud of you. Today is a huge day. I am not going to sugarcoat that. I'm not going to take the pressure off of you. This is the climax of the 10 pole. Holy cow. You need to bring it. You need to bring it emotionally. You need to bring it physically. You need to bring it in weapons. You need to bring it in location. You need to bring it in everything. Be thinking of your genre. What do you love about your genre? What is the expectation of your genre? In a mystery, this is usually the red herring is captured and discovered to not be, that they're completely off base. So the detective usually thought that, they finally got some traction, they finally got some information, and they were moving forward. The hero really thinks they can win. The reader should think they can win. And then we lower the boom today and they do not win. As a matter of fact, they are crushed. Many times the magician is disabled, kidnapped, or killed at this time, or at least seems to be killed, at the very least disabled. Many times the love interest or the sidekick is seriously injured. You can injure your hero here, but you can't do it too badly. He can't break any bones. He can't lose a lung. He can't get a serious head injury because in not too long, like 70 pages, 80 pages or so, he needs to beat the villain. So beat him up, but you have to leave room for the fact that he can heal from his injuries. We can't disable him permanently at this point. So today is all about bringing the boom. And when I say bring it, I know I've had a couple comments. What does that mean? Whatever your genre dictates, that is what you must do, and do it to the best of your ability. As always, you're only the writer that you can be. Now I have, Carolyn, so easy for you. You're Carolyn. I wasn't born this way. I struggled just like you do. I wrote a really crappy first book, crappy second book, but much better by the third. By no means was I born like this. I think the only advantage I have is that for the most part, I will consider anything that my muse and my subconscious brings up. So even if it's a YA romance high school and my muse puts up, there should be an alien invasion, I'm not going to toss that aside. I'm not going to try and stifle no, that's wrong, that's bad, that's whatever. And a lot of you do that, is that the crazier, more out there ideas you kind of shame back down. I don't. I'm like, fantastic. I don't know if that works here, but maybe that idea about the alien invasion, maybe the love interest is obsessed with aliens. Maybe the sidekick is obsessed with aliens. Maybe we just kind of have some verve. Maybe they go to an alien convention. Maybe they go to X-Files convention. I'm not sure, but I'm not going to throw away that instinct. I'm going to try and use it to the best of my ability. And even if it's not used, I appreciate it and am thankful to it. The more you stifle your muse and your subconscious, the less they're going to send you exciting information. Because why should they? Because you keep dissing it, you keep throwing it back at them. So any idea that comes up, appreciate it. You don't have to use it. You can just appreciate it for what it is and interesting. And maybe you can use a fraction of it, a 16th of it. Maybe use none of it. That's okay. So that is how I handle my creativity. I'm very, I love these ideas, even if they're totally crazy and outside the box. And I love them and I appreciate them and I laugh. And I have ideas all the time that I don't use, and that's totally fine. That is part of the process. You shouldn't feel like every single idea that comes up should be a home run. It doesn't have to be. It's just there. And for me, my muse and my subconscious is very playful, so they're constantly throwing things up. They're just so not appropriate for a serious international thriller, and that's okay. I still love them. I appreciate them. So always be appreciative if your subconscious and your muse are kind enough to send you some information, even if you don't use it. But I don't sit back and wait for my muse and my subconscious. If I get to a point, like I was just at a point, they're in a garage, there's a truck that they need that has a few attackers guarding it, and I scan what are the different ways to ambush this truck and get it without damaging the truck. And I decided, okay, I'm at the climax. I'm building, I'm ramping up, but this is early in the climax. I don't want to overwrite this scene. I don't want to overshadow this scene with something else. I know where I want to go. This is a scene that has to happen. I want to make it interesting, but I don't want to overblow it because, again, weight of words. I don't want to have too many words for it. So I decided on a fairly swift knife takedown of the attackers, but I did that by scanning. I could do knife. I could have them use firearms. It could be a personal, they're hand to hand, but that didn't work because of just the staging of it. I used the Raven as a distraction, so just I scanned the different methods by which somebody could realistically, one person against three, take down these attackers and steal the truck. And with bigger action sequences, I go bigger than that. I usually think about 20 or 30 ideas of what could work before I settle on one. So I don't settle on my first thought. I don't settle on the first thing that my subconscious throws out. I go and I scan and I try and think about every single logical thing that could happen. I figured out, and then I try and go bigger and bigger depending on where I'm at the temple or the climax, which is where the major actions happen. So I want you to embrace anything that your subconscious or muse throws up at you. Love it. You don't have to use it, but love it, or else your subconscious and your muse are going to stop throwing stuff up at you, and then you're going to be screwed. And don't wait for your muse. If you have a point where you want to do something interesting, then stop for a second and think about what could be interesting. Don't stop for 2 hours. Notice I didn't say go on break for 4 hours. I said just stop for a second. What are the different ways? What have I seen? What did I think was cool, and can I change that to myself? I was watching a trailer, and a car jumps out of one building and lands in another. And of course, I can't just do that because it's been done. It was really, really cool though. So what I'm going to do, my first thought was, boom, is that Lopez has to be involved, who is my go-getter adrenaline junkie. He's going to come in with a helicopter upside down and catch that car on the rails and then bring it over to a parking garage and have the car, go off of that. It's going to be stunning. Is it realistic? Who cares? It's fun. So that's kind of how I get inspired by something and then make it my own. Inspired, make it my own. So today, get really inspired, really make it your own. This is Lowering the Hammer. You must crush your hero today or tomorrow. It's not good right now. It's fine. We'll fix it. This book, third book, but really, really strive for bringing it. Crush your hero. Make this as exciting as humanly possible. All right, I will see you tomorrow, and I wish you the best writing day because this is an awesome day halfway through your book. Woo!